My dad had an out of control gambling addiction. It led to him having around £500,000 worth of debt that went on over about 30 years. We're now both campaigning to make sure that gambling regulations strengthened in this country so that more people don't end up with the problems like our family had.
My gambling addiction just crept upon me from not serious gambling 20 to 30 years ago to very serious gambling 5 to 10 years ago. So, it's a sliding scale. You don't go from not a gambler to being an addict straight away, in my case at least. I don't really think certainly not realised soon enough, because I was in a different world. When you're gambling, you're somewhere else, you're deluded. But probably when I went to prison nearly 5 years ago, that's the time when all reality hit me at once, and from that moment on I haven't gambled, but that's when I realised I got a big problem.
As a family, we first heard about my dad's gambling addiction when he went to prison in 2014. Before that, we never knew that there were any debt problems. We never knew that the house was at risk. We never even knew that he'd stolen any money or even had a problem. The addiction's been quite devastating in a lot of ways. Life is never going to be the same. The debt is something that we just can't get over. It's never going to go away. It's never going to be solved. And we're at risk of losing this house. It got remortgaged to pay for my dad's debts. And the shame that it brings as well is something else. There's been a lot of attention on the story and our family because of what happened to us. So life is never going to be the same. It's very different now. And very difficult, because there's always the risk that my dad could go back to gambling. And we've got to do our best to make sure that doesn't happen. We've started campaigning for things to change in the gambling industry because we realised that so many simple things could be done to make life safer for gamblers. Not everyone has a problem with gambling, but there's now a significant minority of people who have an issue with it. They have issues with the fixed odds betting terminals on the high street, where the government has just announced a stake on those is going to be reduced. They also have a problem online. My dad started offline and went online, and you can spend hundreds of pounds every minute there, and that's just not right. It's advertised too heavily, I think, so we want to make other people safer. We've had a lot of reaction to the campaign we started over the years, and in recent weeks and months that reaction has got stronger, especially as this has become a central government issue. But comments that we've had, threatening our lives and trying to abuse us, are really just not called for. I think these people are pathetic. I think they're uneducated and quite deluded about the whole issue. But to say things like that is very damaging, especially to two people who are sat here completely voluntarily trying to raise awareness about something that's very serious and affecting a lot of people. But to be abused for that is really upsetting. So it's been a heavy burden on us for a few weeks now.
To anyone that ends up with a gambling addiction similar to mine, my advice would be to talk quite frankly and openly to your family and those around you, because your way out is through self-help groups and your very close family being supportive and allowing you the space, not untethered, but to try and put things right and move away from that, and that's what I can thankfully say a big thank you to my family for giving me the opportunity of continuing a life